And we are live. Welcome to the Red Blue Pod number 126. How are you, Gray?
I'm here. So there's that. It's going okay. How about yourself, Multi? How you doing?
Doing great. We will cover Damsel, a terrible movie, and The Listener, a great movie I liked. How are you, Matt?
I'm fine. I'm happy to be here this week to talk with you guys with these two amazing movie Grey I love so much. So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Amazing. And what about you, Bald Russ?
Oh, I'm happy to discuss some happy little movies.
He will
Perfect.
paint each movie for us in live today.
Exactly.
Cannot wait to see the painting. And this is the Halloween week. I didn't realize. Time flies. Wow. I'm jealous of the fancy costume. Uh, Bald as. Anyway, I think it's the perfect moment for the intro.
Not funny. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Not funny.
And here we are. I will let. Well, actually, usually I ask Gray why did he choose stuff. Now I will kind of explain why I chose these two. These
Okay.
are
Why the hell did you choose them, Multi? Why did you make us all watch Damsel?
um, I was like, you know what? We need two female led movie. There's not enough female led movie. Damsel is one of the two. Let's just watch that. So I heard only bad stuff about that movie. I knew exactly what I was getting into. I wanted to see on my own eyes if that was as bad as what the reviewer um did review it. Like
Then why'd you
six-
involve our eyes?
because I didn't want to sound like the
I
only
think
one that
Grey is angry today.
You're like
I-
one of those people who, like, if I can't be happy, nobody else can be happy either.
Yeah.
you read my mind.
Yeah.
uh, no, the true reason is I wanted to make sure I'm not crazy,
You are crazy if you
and
need to know.
apparently I'm not crazy because everyone hated it. So
No,
that
you
movie is indeed
suggested
really
it.
bad.
It doesn't sound sane. I'm just saying.
But the other movie is indeed good. So I was like, two female-led movies. One is good, one is bad. So let's talk about that, and we will let Matt start on Damsel, the masterpiece.
The masterpiece. Yeah, it's not the word that we use for that movie, but for me, it's not a bad movie. It's a typical Netflix movie. Is a movie with Millie Bobby Brown. She's like the queen of Netflix today with Stranger Things and Enola Holmes movie and the future electric something with the Russo brother is coming this winter. So yeah, this actress is very popular on Netflix. So it's not surprising she has this kind of movie with her with this platform. And the concept for me was interesting. You know, the princess go to a new kingdom to be married with some prince, but turns out she become a sacrifice for evil dragon in the cave. And for me, the concept in the cave work is a good. Reclos, sorry, not the word in English, the reclos, for when the dragon and the princess fight each other in the cave. But the introduction and the last act, the last
The third act.
part, like the third act outside the cave, not work very great. Is too classical, too lazy, right? Conception, but in the cave and the design of the cave, the design of the dragon, the thing with the firefly, the flame the dragon throw is drooling. It's kind of cool, but it's not a profound movie, not evolutionary movie. But with a woman, it's kind of unique, you know. And
It's
Millie
not
Bobby
deep.
Brown, not deep, yeah. And Millie Bobby Brown is a okay actress. Not my favorite actress, but she had talent, and this movie is work for her. But other than that, this is a forgettable movie overall. Yeah.
Amazing. I'm not crazy. Perfect. Superbald. What did you think of that masterpiece?
I had never heard of this movie, so I went in completely blind. And let me tell you, ignorance is bliss. I can. My feelings for this movie can be described with one word: meh. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, this kind of movie just isn't my thing. I really couldn't get into it. I don't really have a whole lot to say. This is the first thing I've seen Millie Bobby Brown in because I never watched Stranger Things, or except for little clips here and there that people sent me. And I looked up her filmography. There's nothing else of hers that I've seen. I knew who she was though. I thought she was okay. Did what she could with the material, but I don't think this is really the thing to use to judge her abilities as an actress. One thing that I hated, and this is true of pretty much every movie nowadays, everything is either tinted blue or orange. That is the only color palette that seems to exist nowadays in movies, especially with movies shot in digital, which this certainly was. You could tell, and also it's a Netflix movie, and Netflix is they actually have a rule that anything that's produced by them in house or for them has to be shot on digital. Um, Locations were good. I mean, they probably filmed this in actual real castles in Europe, I would assume.
Yeah, it's true.
You really think they use the money that way?
Yeah,
Some of it.
Some of it.
Yeah.
Some of it, like
Okay.
obviously
Went to
the
Portugal.
cave. Yeah, obviously the cave with the dragon and all that was.
The castle
don't.
was in
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Portugal.
that isn't real, but yeah. Good actors that I found were wasted. Ray Winstone, he's one of my favorite actors. Robin Wright. To me, she's always going to be Janai from Forrest Gump, but she's a really good actress, and I felt she was wasted in here. I don't remember her character's name. I just called her Queen Bitchface. I was going to use another word that rhymes with bunt, but I don't want to anger the YouTube algorithm.
I think you already did, but that's fine. Nice try.
I normally don't do this. Like I looked up what other people have said just to have maybe to see if I agree, whatever, to have some stuff to say. Normally I try not to do that. I try to just form my own opinions, and then maybe go look up what other people said just as a counterpoint. But yeah, some of the things I read, one reviewer said that this movie has the tackiness of a plastic wedding cake. I agree. Some people are complaining about wokeism. I'm like, okay, because there were too many people of color in the movie.
And she's white. She's a white female.
Yeah, I'm like, and they were complaining because the main character was a female. I'm like, okay, so people of color is the most unrealistic thing to you in a movie about about friggin' dragons.
Okay.
Yeah.
We do the woke now. We are woke because we cover 2 female in movie. But I want to keep going.
It did subvert the trope though, of the damsel in distress being rescued by the knight in shining armor. Poorly executed, but at least it subverted the trope. I did find the ending a bit surprising, though. I fully expected her to kill the dragon, but then she sided with the dragon. Understandably, the dragon was actually in the right. The last line in the movie, I'm pretty sure this was not intentional, but it reminded me of the end of Star Trek Voyager, because the very last line in that series is set a course. What course should I set a course for home? This is almost exactly what they said, but I'm pretty sure that was not intentional at all.
AI, ChatGPT.
Yeah, Actually, this reads like it's script written by ChatGPT, so who knows? Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.
And okay, well, thank you for sharing. And great, I got to say, the other reason is, well, we had great movies. We need some bad movies for the tier list at the end of the season, and that
No,
was
you
one
really
of them.
don't. No, you really don't. It's like, oh wow, you watched garbage and then you watch really good things. I wonder where you're gonna put it on the tier list. The real like magic comes from like, okay, these are all good movies, but where do they go on a tier list? I'm sorry, I just disagree with you.
Okay, I will let you unleash your anger. That's your goal.
Yeah, I can't believe you made me watch this, Multi. What the hell?
Yay too, no?
I don't know. That's the only anger I have is for you in choosing this. Yeah, so I don't know. Everything about this seems really, it just seems to miss. I understand that like movies take a while to get made, so perhaps things that were popular a few years ago, like how long does post-production take? How long does actual production? How long does pre-production? And then you've got to actually write it and pitch it. So a lot of the ideas are going to be, you know, super used, super played out by the time it actually gets made. I think that's what we've got here, but man, there is not like an original idea in any part of this. It is just trope after trope after trope, and
Not
everything seems recycled.
not to cut you off there, but just to add to what you're saying is like special effect heavy movies like this have a very long post production usually.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if we're just seeing something that really should have been like 5 years ago, and it would have been like maybe cutting edge, right? When that like, you know, girl boss thing was like at peak, but sadly, this just feels like it's knocking everything off. And there was just kind of like, I don't know if it's a checklist or what, but it's like, okay, the woman has to somehow cut her dress. She has to, you know, cut her hair at some point. There has to be the badass explosion that she's walking away, not actually looking at it. You mentioned the line directly like ripped off of Star Wars, or excuse me, Star Trek at the end. Jesus, I just switched the two main ones there. But yeah, like just no part of this seems original. It really sucks. So I know Superbald was saying that this is not really the type of movie for him. I think it's the type of movie for me, or it should be. I absolutely love fantasy. Like almost anything in fantasy, I'm super in. But one thing that I love in fantasy is world building, and there's just none here. Like absolutely none. Just okay, so you're not really told where you are, but there's this one scene with a dragon in the past, and then 200 years later, you're somewhere else in the future, and oh, it looks bleak, but still the same amount of like technology and improvement and everything. But from there, we now go back to the same thing.
It's generic medieval, essentially, the setting.
Yeah. And I don't care about the diversity. Like, okay, fair enough. I could care less about any of that, but man, it just feels like everything is here without a payoff and for no reason. Like a lot of them where there are, you know, like girl bosses or the princess who actually doesn't want to just be a princess. It shows her like train or something. The most we get with this is, okay, so she split some wood. Cool. Like that is a necessity, a necessary task that has to be done in the cold, like for sure. But I don't know if that equates to she's an amazing warrior who can take out a dragon at the end. I don't know. It just, it starts out with a line like, you know, many have the hero who saves the damsel, but this is not one of those stories. It's like, but it kind of is. She doesn't do anything for herself the entire time until she just magically does that battle. Like things just kind of keep happening. Somebody keeps helping her, either the women of the past who somehow set up what she's going to use to go forward, or literally male figures like her father comes in with his army and distracts the dragon. And then magically the dragon's going to take her out, but the local guide or whatever, he makes noise and then he saves her. She keeps getting saved by heroes instead of, you know, just the damsel saving herself until this very weird fight at the end. And I don't know. I guess it's weird because it's all green screen. I watched a little bit of the behind the scenes thing. She's basically just on a rig and she's kind of reacting to like tennis balls. That would be tough. It is a lot of green screen on this movie, but a lot of the things in the court that we see, like when they're riding the horses are fake. But when they're like looking out at the landscape, it looks so fake. That was actually shot in Portugal. Like I don't know why it looks so bad with some of the outside shots, but they're real. Like I don't know why they don't look real. It's just strange. Like they made
the
bunch
magic of
choices.
Netflix is our good.
Yeah. Well, like you can make digital look really good, and you can emulate a whole bunch of like things that film can do, but man, this isn't doing it. Like Superbald mentioned, like it's very blue or very orange, but it doesn't have like a great feel to it. And you could do something amazing with it. You could change the colors and really have like a shift, but man, it doesn't feel like the payoff for what's actually happening. Granted, they really kind of I don't know, set up that it's going to happen. Like we all kind of know that this isn't just some magic wedding and everything's going to be okay. But the turn, I don't know, it didn't feel great for me, where I think there could be something much bigger on this. And then on top of that, like, okay, so if they just had a wedding the night before, shouldn't this dude's palm have been cut? Or shouldn't they have like shown that like his other palm was cut or something? But instead, the magic blood ceremony, or do they know about the leeches or whatever the glowworms are in the cave? Unclear. Like, just none of this is like, there's so much that they could have done to make this better, and yet it's not there. And as everyone kind of mentioned, the actors in it, like, I don't hate Millie Bobby Brown. I wasn't a huge fan of like the Enola Holmes things, but she kills it in Stranger Things. I don't know. I like the first seasons a lot more, but still, she's not a bad actress, but she's not very convincing in this one to me. And then Ray Winstone, he's always awesome, but he's just kind of, I don't know. It feels
really,
like
he really phoned it in this one, I find.
Yeah. Same thing with Angela Bassett. Like,
I forgot to mention I forgot to mention her, and she's a great actress. Yeah, and in this movie she was just there.
And they even give her like this weird kind of, I think they ended up calling it like an Atlantic accent, but it's like, it's not a British accent. Like, I don't know what it is, but
they call it mid-Atlantic. It's what they used to use a lot in old-timey movies. But she doesn't quite pull it off.
Not at all. And then you mentioned Robin Wright, and it's like, so it's not Queen Bitch, it's Queen Isabella, but close. But I mean, I love me some Robin Wright, especially when she is in medieval settings or whatever. Like Princess Bride is so amazing, and she is unforgettable in it.
I completely forgot that she was in that. And Princess Bride is a great movie.
I just think you could have put anybody in this evil queen thing. Like, she's just so overreacting to the point where even at the end, like when she's getting flamed, it's just like, no, like, I don't know. I think there could have been so much more going on with this. And even some of the bit parts, like the dude who played the local guide, that guy is just amazing. I dig, I guess his name is Ezra Baruch Khan. I don't know that dude by name, but every time I see him in something, like, he just has such a believable like character presence. And just in this, it's just kind of nothing. He just hides behind a pillar. I mean, he does save them, so that's awesome. But just, man, I don't know the point of this movie. And that's the sad part is, okay, so it is a Netflix movie. It's straight to Netflix, but it's got a budget of $70 million. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it all went to the actors, but some of the green screen is really bad. You can tell that they do have kind of the ground of the cave in there, but the rest of it's all just green screened. And man, it really comes off that way. And then the design of the dragon. Come on, like, we've got so many good dragons in recent history. How did you choose this one?
Wait. The look of the dragon, I like it. I think is okay. It's not the best dragon we have in the cinema, but it's work. And this fire is unique. She's like drooling. This fire is unique in the I think it's the correct dragon for me.
Okay. For me, maybe it is me being prejudiced, but I don't like the four-legged dragons. I think their arms should be wings. I got something off with that. And then just the overall design of the face. I think we've seen it better. And then why did the... I guess the part that I really don't understand is, why is the fire-breathing thing susceptible to fire damage? It doesn't make sense to me, but okay. So I don't know. It leaves me thoroughly disappointed. I don't understand in this world, like, Are kings and queens just so greedy that they don't care if their kids go missing? And why the hell are they going to high class anyway? Like, couldn't they just grab like peasants off the street and like cut their hands, do the ritual, throw them in, and then nobody's worried about them? Like, I really don't understand any of this. None of it seems to make sense to me. I agree with the AI possibly writing this. Like, it does feel like a bunch of different movies, premises that have been done, all shoved together and then thrown out there.
Agree. This element is explained in the movie. It's not a good explanation, but he said that the dragon want a revenge about the royal family, so she need a royal
Getcha.
sacrifice. So this is the reason, but it's not the
I
best.
get you, but the only reason why they smell like the royal blood is because they did the hand thing. That's why they even do that to like her sister.
I forget that.
So they don't need the royals is the thing. Like, I think they could do that to a peasant. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the mixture of royal bloods works. I don't know. But still, it seems like people would care that the royals are going missing. That, like, it feels like there would be some sort of rumor around this world, but maybe I'm wrong. There's no world building. So all in all, it just leaves me disappointed. And why the hell did you choose this, Multi?
Female led. Welcome.
Oh, and I forgot. I think it's
Station.
got a Hans Zimmer score. Why the hell does this have a Hans Zimmer score? Like, I can't even tell you what happened in the score. But
yeah, so much
God.
wasted talent in this movie. It's
yes,
The music with David Fleming, not Hans Zimmer, but yeah.
This is pure golden. I had the biggest laugh in a long time with all of your rants. I like that. And welcome, the alien that's maybe a cousin of the dragon in Damsel. How are you, some alien?
I just have
it's
a
a
bug.
bonus
that's all.
situation.
I like your costume, man. I feel so like I'm not fancy enough because we got two great costume.
not sure what your costume is.
Baldros.
Like a demonic elephant, or I'm not sure what that is.
It's a face hugger.
The face I
From
agree.
Romulus.
Oh,
Romulus. I like
It's
it.
a pretty fancy face hugger.
yeah.
Where does he
But
find
when
it?
you get just a part of it, it kind of looks a little elephantile.
Okay, that
or-
makes sense because I was thinking like
Taxidermist.
demonic babar. That's what it looks
Yeah.
like to me.
I was thinking the
It kind-
Cthulhu, but yeah.
Cthulhu. So, I guess that's my goal to have a swing at that movie because not.
So you
not
like
people-
it?
No, that was terrible.
Unless Charles happened to see Damsel.
I just want to wear my costume on a camera. That's all. So
Well, we appreciate it.
That was
It's
nice.
quite the
That was
costume.
nice.
yeah, it does look like an elephant because of whatever the hell these things are. Little...
Yeah.
I think if we could see the tail, it just looks like a trunk like
Yeah.
hanging off of it. But I think in person you'd see the tail and kind of hopefully get the face hugger
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, the eye holes are kind of busted too. So
Where did he find the costume?
oh, I don't know. Years ago, it kind of stinks too.
Okay.
Old vinyl.
I bet on Amazon.
Ooh,
It might be on Amazon.
Oh yeah, that smell of cheap vinyl from the dollar store.
Yeah.
I know that smell.
And then you sweat in it, and everything just
Oh,
feels like
And
cooking plastic.
yes, and it retains the smell for
Yeah.
years.
That's sexy.
Oh, and
so Multi,
I forgot
what do you
one
like
other
this
gripe
movie?
with this. I forgot one gripe with this movie. They also did the trope of like just taking a normal name and then just cutting one letter off of it, and like now it's this new name for this new thing, LOD. Why did we need LOD? Like,
What's
on.
LOD?
Elodie
that's
is a
her
French
name.
It's a French name though.
Is
It
it?
is.
Okay. So
Oh,
I just know
oh,
Melody,
you're right.
and I just
Oh,
assumed that they were doing the
you're
trope
right.
of cutting one letter off.
Yeah.
No, that's a French name. He's right. I
Okay,
just didn't
well, then-
realize.
Not knowing
I forget the movie where there's a lady called Elizabeth instead of Elizabeth. Yeah.
Yeah, where it feels like a trope that they've been doing for the last few years. It's just kind of
No, but Elodie is a French name.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. Did
My
you,
bad.
Matt?
Sacre bleu.
Did you think of that? Like, I didn't realize that was a French name.
I researched that. I think is like the fantasy thing. Is English, is French, so French name, English name.
Generic European.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
the whole vibe of this
Is the
movie.
concept of the movie is a generic fantasy realm, but
Mhm.
with a concept in it is a dragon face princess in the cave. Other than that, it's just classical story. Huh?
My first issue, the cave. There are moments during the movie I could not see shit. I
Wait,
get it.
you
That
were
was
fine with
kinda-
everything up until the cave. You're like, I'm totally bought
I'll
in.
be
This
honest.
makes sense.
Yes, at first I was like, maybe the reviewer I've seen talking about that movie might be too harsh on it, and then they arrive in the cave. This is what everything goes down for me.
What?
So
Are you
for
talking
the
about like
best-
the
it's the best
king and his
part of the
men
movie.
entering the cave?
no, the
Or
cave
are you
like
talking
after
about-
like 20-ish minute into
So
it,
when
I was-
Elodie enters the cave, you're okay with
Yeah.
like the king having all of his men line up at single file to get killed?
That sounds terrible, but yeah, I was like, okay, that's the premise. The platoon is shite, and they get
It's like a bad
eradicated.
action movie where like all the baddies stand in line waiting to get their asses kicked. It's essentially the same thing.
But I was kind of fine with it, and then the cave happens. It was so dark. Like I get it, they wanted to depict the place as dark, but if I can't see shit, what's the point? Really,
I had
like,
sort
I don't
of
know
the
if
same
it's because
experience.
I don't know if it's because of my color blindness, because it was a factor when we reviewed The Walking Dead. Apparently, colorblind suffer through Walking Dead sometimes because of the color palette or some shit. So
No,
maybe
Maybe
that's
I
blue
had
in
the
this
same. I had the same issue, and I'm not colorblind. I actually had to. Part of this is just because my TV is very reflective, but I had to like close the blinds because the daylight was like because of the daylight reflecting in TV, I couldn't see anything.
I had no daylight, so I don't know. Maybe the light was really shit in the
Okay,
caves.
yeah, could be
um
a combination of that and your color blindness.
Yeah, probably. Number 2, inconsistency in the lead. 1 second she is smart as she figure out she is a sacrifice. The next second she tries to hide from a dragon, yet she is noisy and screams to tell where she is.
When you said number 2, I thought you were describing the movie.
And I mean, to give her she screamed because she got hit with fire. Like she got like 4th degree burns or whatever. I could understand screaming.
Yeah.
Contrived.
But even when the dragon is not really around, she's screaming and she tells the dragon where she's hiding. It's like big IQ, right?
Well, she knows mazes, not dragon runs. Come on.
Another instance of the lead doing stupid shit. She jumped off a dark cliff and she keeps screaming, telling the dragon where she's heading at. That wasn't the same kind of 10-minute where I really have seen the movie taking a dump or something. Millie Bobby.
Wait, is that when you're saying that she's screaming? Are you talking about when she's like jumping to the side of the cave that she's slipping down on with the blue worms and all that thing? Because I think she screams because she hits the rock. But if your only like concern with that scene is like the fact that she screamed when she did that, I mean, she's also using like just a fashion piece that goes in her breastplate to somehow hold up her entire body weight and repeatedly stab it into a rock somehow. I don't know. I think the screaming is the
forgot about
least
how
of the...
bad that was. Dang. You're right. That's even worse. I think I will be too generous with that movie, I think.
Like always.
I like how people reframe everything. That's amazing. And now Millie Bobby Brown was shown to have leg injuries, yet she didn't stop. It didn't stop her from running away when she needed. It doesn't make sense since said injury would have at least slowed her down. But she needs to survive through the movie, right? Because she's the lead. I will say I thought the acting was shit. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Dialogue overall felt weird, even by middle-age fantasy standards. Maybe I'm too harsh. Maybe I nitpick too much. The father's last word tried to be emotional, but failed as I didn't care about any of the characters. Characters were forgettable. There is the screaming and crying brat telling where she is again. That's a bit later. I guess I think that's
Are
after
you
they
talking
all
about her
die.
sister screaming and crying brat? You mean the little girl who was like cut and then thrown off a cliff?
Maybe I can't remember, to be honest, but maybe I was referring to the main character because I didn't know her name. Yeah, I didn't
Didn't know
know the name
Elodie?
of the. Yeah, I didn't know her name. I was like, oh, that's Millie Bobby Brown. That's all I knew. So maybe that's her. Inconsistency in the lead. She is depicted as smart, yet she does stupid things like going back in the cave later on. If a platoon of soldiers can't beat the dragon, how the hell could she beat the dragon?
Because she's the
She
protagonist.
just did it once, and now her sister's in there. It's a rescue mission now.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think
Power
your
of love.
problems with it are the least of the problems with the thing.
Plot armor and inconsistency in the dragon. So the dragon is shown to end everyone's lives. Yet he let the girl live. Why?
Wait,
Why?
that he let Elodie live?
At some point, yeah, I think, yeah. That was near the end. This I know.
So
You
you
should
mean
have
when she
murdered
meant to deal
everyone.
with it?
You should have murdered everyone.
Well, that is kind of what happens next. But she explains that the royals have been lying to the dragon and that
Yeah.
they have actually reneged on their side of the agreement and tried to fool the dragon.
And that's
Then
enough
once
for the
she heals
dragon
the
to
dragon-
spare her life?
So she defeats the dragon and then explains that the dragon has been had. And at this point, since the dragon was defeated and now feels more anger towards the original agreement not being made, it has no beef with her.
Okay, so I guess that was too harsh. Maybe it will earn back a point. Yeah.
Again, the story is not the best thing about this movie. It's
Yeah,
just
actually-
the movie is a concept, and with the concept, it create a story around it, but the story not work well, you know.
Very
But
convinced
$70
me.
million, Millie Bobby Brown, Ray Winstone, Angela Bassett, Robin Wright. You could have done something amazing, even with just
Yeah.
the concept that's there.
Yeah,
Man, it's
they
just so
had
much
all.
wasted.
It's like they had all the best ingredients to bake an amazing cake, and what they did is undercook the cake and gave everybody salmonella. Yeah,
It's
That's
the thing
It's
with
all-star
Netflix.
cast.
That's a gift.
Yeah, you should see it, Charles. That's great.
Nope.
That's a masterpiece. That's the best movie we covered.
I've cashed in my Netflix movie quota for the year.
So how many bad Netflix movie did you see?
One is too many.
Okay, it's a bit sad. I wanted to have a extended library for other videos about Netflix and how bad they can't make movies or
Yeah.
something like that.
Did you
straight
watch?
to Netflix has kind of replaced straight to DVD.
Yeah.
I've seen Mia Culpa. That was also Netflix bad. That's a lawyer with 50 Cent in it.
Oh my god.
A movie with
Come on.
50 Cent, the rapper, or a movie
The-
that
the rapper.
literally costs 50
The
cents.
price tag.
The rapper 50 Cent is an actor.
Actor is a big word for him. Man.
Well, he appears on camera and says words. That's about the best way to describe it.
Exactly.
You should watch Don't Move, Multi.
That sounds fun.
It's
I
a
need to see it.
Netflix movie and a woman's in it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Did
I
it
don't
came
know
out
this
this
It's
year?
all of your criteria.
Yeah.
And it's action.
Hell
So
yeah.
it's also something that you enjoy.
Hell
you know, not
yeah! So
comedy.
Don't Move. Okay, that's on my watch list now. I think I will watch that right after the
It's like-
stream.
Strange Darling if nobody gave a shit about telling you a story.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
exactly.
The more you talk about it, the more I want to see it, man.
I see yesterday. Yeah, it's okay, but it's not as good as Strange Darling.
No. We're close.
I want to
Yes.
see it even more now. Okay, I'm hype. You guys told me the movie.
You'll hate it. You'll give it a 9.3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I canceled my
I have
Netflix last year, so
But the
I'm
actress
not
is
sure.
great.
I'm not sure if I want to renew it.
No, you just punch yourself in the balls for 20 minutes. You'll save yourself. an hour and a half.
But the actress is great. You know, she on the
Yeah.
You make that sound like it's not fun though, like punching yourself in the ball for 20 minutes.
Well, do it for the full
Get used
hour
to it.
40 then.
Again, you make it sound like it's not fun.
4 stars.
Speaking of punching yourself in the balls, Multi, how was your experience with Damsel?
I liked eating it.
Oh,
I
cat.
that wasn't a great movie, but I knew what I was getting into, and that was a fun experience. And the discussion we had is better than the movie, and that's amazing. That was
I
the
didn't
point.
know what I was getting into. You should have warned me.
Yeah,
the
I
crazy
disagree.
thing, the crazy thing about this movie, I see this movie like back in when it released, like 6 months ago, and I remember this movie. Is not my brain not want to forget this movie. It's crazy.
Wait a minute. Did you watch it again for this podcast?
No. I
You
don't
put
want
yourself
Oh,
through
wow,
this
it sticks with you?
twice.
Oh no.
Yeah, you know, I like I said, many around. I like this actress, so I want to see this movie. I see, you know, our own movie 1 and 2, and so I want to see the movie for her. And yeah, it pretty much is the only thing working in this movie is that actress. Yeah.
I will admit the action was entertaining and cool action. I like action, but the movie is still kind of bad.
I hate you.
Kinda.
Kind of bad. Yeah, kind of bad. Just bad a little bit. And
Tolerable bad.
and again, I thought
To
the
quote
first 20
Princess
ish-
Bride, that word, I don't think it means what you think it means.
Again, the first 20 minutes, I was fine with it. It's really the moment Millie it's the caves that I'm like, okay, this goes downhill, and that's the plot, and that's
Well,
the point of the movie.
I have the opposite feeling that you and the first act and the last act not worked great for me, but the cave part is the concept of the movie, and for the concept is okay, you know.
So, except if guys would like to add more on that, I think it's the perfect moment to give the score.
Yeah,
Okay.
give me your score, Multi.
3.5 out of 10. Greg brought back 0.5 because plot armor is not really a thing because the dragon forgave the girl. Whatever. So, Gray, what would be your grade?
Yeah, it sucks because it's not like a horrible film. It's just not good. It sucks. Like it's not going to be on the lower end of my list for the year. There's much worse out there, but just every part just feels like it's like retread or redone. So I don't know. I think for me, sadly, I'm close to your score, Multi, which kind of concerns me. I'm at like a 4.
Great. What's your number for the year?
I think I've seen 130 right now.
God bless.
Wow.
You beat me,
Gonna get to
God,
150.
by a lot. Not just by 10 movies, by a lot. I
And
was
that's
proud
just
of my
the
63.
2024 ones. I'm gonna get. If you count the other ones, I'm in the 200s for sure. But
Wow.
Same.
good times.
That's insane. In the last 2 months for this podcast, I've watched more movies than I've watched in the last 5 years.
Right on.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's actually a good thing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. This podcast has really helped me rekindle my love of movies.
You see,
That's what it's supposed to be about. That's what it's supposed to be about.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why
But I did not love this movie.
That's what the internet is about.
Yeah, that's,
Why don't you give that a 10?
I guess you got to take the good with the bad.
What your
Yeah.
score?
Speaking to an audience.
So, Bold Russ, what would be your fabulous grade after a 3.5 and a 4? What would be yours?
Well, this isn't a happy little movie, so I'm gonna give it a 3, and I'm being generous.
Is that out of 10?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
We're not letterboxed here.
What about you, Matt?
You know, like I say, the concept work in the cave, but other than that, is a forgettable movie. And the only thing you can memorable is the principal actress, Moby Brown, Millie Moby Brown, Millie Bobby Brown. Sorry, I searched the name, and I give a 4 out of 10. It's okay, but it's like the pretty much all the Netflix movie we got is okay for one time, and you forgettable after that. So yeah. 4 out of 10.
Okay. Well, I guess it's time for the listener. A actual good movie. I don't know, because maybe I'm the only one that liked it.
Calm down, Muti.
I think I'm the only one that liked it. Okay. Don't Move. Have you
Charles.
seen it? Have you seen Listener?
Without
I have seen Don't Move. Oh,
the Listener.
So we talk about Don't Move. So Don't Move.
yeah. So I saw it just yesterday. No, go ahead. I don't want to hijack your.
You don't hijack. You don't.
No,
Am I the only one that liked it? Before we really get into it.
I have not seen The Listener. I was about to pivot.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's
Conflicted feelings about it.
Did you
That's
watch
fine.
the right one? With
Yep.
Tessa Thompson. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
not
so
the 4
maybe-
seasons of the TV show.
Well,
No.
that's me, because in one website I use,
That's why that movie was so goddamn long.
Damn
I
it.
clicked The Listener, and I
Took
found
me-
a weird version of
You can
it.
watch it.
So I was like, I need to find another version on another website. That's why I was like, it's Tessa Thompson on the phone for an hour and a half.
The movie is on Amazon for information.
Yeah. Yeah.
Multi sitting through 9.5 hours. Man, it's going nowhere.
Too long. So, I guess I will let others tear it apart before I can somewhat defend it if I can. So, Gray, I will
Well,
let you start on that one.
Based on the time issue, why don't we let Matt go first, and then he at least gets to talk
Oh,
about
you're
both
right.
of these before he's
Matt.
going to take off.
Matt.
Thanks, Gray. I have time, but yeah, thanks. So yeah, The Listener. I see this movie for the first time yesterday. I want to see this movie back when it was released the last winter. But yeah, I'm kind of happy to see this movie. Yeah, the concept of the movie is interesting, and with Tessa Thompson, she is a great actress, and she worked pretty great in this movie. She has the voice for that the kind of role, because all the movies one listener, one woman answer call for help people in need all night. So she can work for me for that role. But the storytelling of this movie can't fail for me. It's not sorry, it's not entertaining as I was expected. But overall, it's okay. And I was surprised that this movie is directed by Steve Buscemi. He's an actor I really like. See in the comedy movie. So this Corey is also a director. I think it's not his best work, but it's an experience for cinema to see this movie. And I think it's a okay movie, but not other than that. The concept have many flaws. It's not a great structure on it, but yeah, for me it's okay.
Okay. Bald Ross, what did you think of The Listener?
Okay. I went into this one blind too. I'd never heard of it. Not knowing what to expect. I was quite surprised when I saw Steve Buscemi's name as the director. I didn't even know he directed movies. I don't know if he's
This is his
directed.
fifth.
Really? Okay. But in the last 10, 15 years, I've missed a lot of movies. I really disconnected from the whole thing. So there's a
Multi's
lot of
doing
stuff.
you no
A
favors.
lot of stuff that went over my head. So I'm not up to date on a lot of this stuff. I have very conflicted feelings about this movie. I'm not even sure how to feel about it. As we mentioned before we went live, Gray mentioned that this almost feels like a play. It could make a good play, and that's true. This is something that could easily be adapted into a play, and maybe it would work better in that medium than film. I thought though I thought it was a novel concept though, something you don't see a lot, where basically
Exactly.
yeah, all the action takes place in like one location. That's something you don't see often. Very few movies have done it. Other movies have done it better though. Some things about this movie did hit a bit too close to home for me, just because I'm someone who's dealt with my own mental health issues, and I once had a job not too dissimilar from what she was doing. It wasn't exactly what she did, but it did involve me having to talk to people who were in all kinds of bad situations over the phone, and yeah, that brought back some certain memories. A lot of things about it, though, I find are very relevant to the situation today. People can't getting the help they need because of lack of insurance, things like that. Even though I live in Canada and we have socialized medicine, universal health care, it's not the utopia that a lot of people think it is. So a lot of people here are dealing with that kind of stuff too. Tessa Thompson was very good. As far as I know, this is the only thing I've seen her in. I looked up her IMDb. I didn't recognize any of the other titles, so I haven't seen her in anything else.
You haven't seen Thor 3?
No, he hasn't
No.
seen most of the MCU. He has seen like 5 MCU movie, right?
5 or
Mm,
or 6, counting Captain Marvel that we
She
watched.
was on
So
the
jealous of you.
Westworld TV show either.
I haven't seen that either.
No.
Like I said, I missed a lot of stuff. It's like I went to sleep for 20 years. I did watch movies here and there, but not very often.
Thank God you're catching up with these movies.
Yeah, please don't judge the last 20 years off of these movies that Multi showed.
Well, mind you, if my first episode ever on this podcast had been Damsel, I might not have come back.
Yeah.
No, no. So you did the right thing with falling down.
Yeah.
True romance.
That's
Um,
great.
a lot of
Thank you.
if you were to take them as separate pieces, a lot of the calls that she gets, I thought were really good. They got great actors to do it, and that's something that's hard to do where it's just audio. It's hard to give a great performance, convey a lot of emotion, sadness, anger, danger, just through audio. So I thought that was really good. But structurally, as a movie, I don't know. As I mentioned earlier, I think this might work better in the medium of theater as a play. It's pretty much all I have to say.
Okay, great. What did you think of The Listener?
I think a lot of my feelings have pretty much been expressed, but let me kind of paint the scene for Charles if he's not familiar with this. So this is Steve Buscemi's 5th film. He didn't write it. Another dude who I'm blanking on his name, Alessandro Camon, who had done. I'm forgetting the name of it. It's pretty damn famous. The Messenger. He's the writer of that one, if you remember that from back in the day. So like his films. Now I'm forgetting. It's like the war one.
Yeah, Joan of Arc, right?
Yeah. Wait.
No,
Now I'm blanking. I think that's the other one.
My fault. Just
All right, I'm
fired up.
forgetting it. But
Flat tire.
yeah, no, it's not that one. It's the 2009 one where an American soldier struggles with an ethical dilemma when he becomes involved with the widow of a fallen officer. Yeah, it had Ben Foster, Woody Harrelson back in the day.
Oh,
So it's kind of a weird drama thing, but it felt like there was kind of a message. So I kind of assumed that that's what's going to happen here, but you've essentially got 3 actors on screen. You've got Tessa Thompson, you've got her actual real life dog, and then there's this house that she's in or apartment, and that's it. You're just with this one person the whole time, and they work for a warm call line, so it's not like a crisis line, but it's like for people who just need to talk. It could be like pre-crisis line. So that's it. She's just taking calls, and you just get like these little vignettes or experiences of her on the call, and then in between you get her like getting tea or kind of playing with the dog, kind of nothing, just as she goes through this shift at her house, dealing with these as they call it, the warm line calls. It's interesting. Like, her performance is good, but I don't know, it doesn't feel like there's this like major arc, because the whole thing about it is with those like warm line things, it's not supposed to be about you. It's supposed to be about the other person. Like, you are the listener. Thus,
Like
the
Good
title.
Samaritan type deal?
Yes. And it is like a volunteer line. So, like, obviously there's a reason why she's volunteering, but she's not supposed to divulge too much about herself. So it's against protocol. So
Yeah, she
slowly
doesn't
through
even
the
use
night,
her. She doesn't even use her real name.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're not allowed to.
Mhm.
But slowly through the night, she goes through all these different people's situations, and you don't learn anything about her. It's just kind of her empathy for the people and kind of her way of.
Later on, they do break off a bit of that.
You
Yeah,
do
they
learn her
tell a bit more.
backstory towards
Yeah,
the end, but it's
The,
kind of
the
That's
last
only on one
it's
call.
kind of like too little, too late at that point in the story
Yeah.
for me, anyway.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting because you're just with this one person, and you only hear the other voices and the actors and actresses who do the voices. They've got like Casey Wilson, Aaliyah Shawkat. Shawkat, I always get her name wrong. Margaret Cho's like one of the callers. There's a bunch of Jamie Hector plays this soldier who came back with a rather interesting call about a nightmare that he's having. There's some really good actors who are playing these characters, and they really like become these characters. There's one that's really manic that kind of it rhymes or has a certain way of speaking, so she encourages them to like write a rap, and then they call back and do the rap. It's kind of fun. Like, they really do become these characters. But man, since all you see is Tessa Thompson and she's not supposed to reveal anything about herself, it's just kind of, I don't know. It's kind of hard to connect with her. At the end, there is a certain call that makes her break protocol. So you do end up knowing a little bit more about her, but it's just so weird because it's so intimate of a film, but you're not really supposed to know anything about the main person on the screen.
Can you give me
It
a
feels like
parallel?
a play.
I'm sorry.
It feels like a play because it's all in one location. Like, they are shooting it like a film. The camera does move. It does have kind of interesting angles from each room in the house, but it takes place in her house over one shift. So I mean, it might be somewhat like Phone Booth in that, you've got a person on the phone talking to somebody else and they're in one location. But I don't know. That is action based off of, what the story is. Like, it's definitely more suspense than that, but it kind of draws you in, where this, I don't know. It's interesting, but it just, it doesn't feel like it really connects with me. I think Multi had a different experience. I would have assumed this would be really high on everyone's list, but from looking at the last two on IMDb, Damsel gets an average of 6.1 out of 10, and the listener gets 5.5.
No.
I think a lot of people aren't necessarily connecting with this character that can't explain anything about themselves other than they're just the
They
listener.
should connect with the people calling. I think that was the point.
Yeah, the
Understand.
point, but the
The
execution
title
That
is
is the point.
Gray, the movie's called The Listener. Did
I
you not see the
gotcha.
title? The title says
I
The
gotcha.
Listener.
So therefore, we should be connecting with the callers. I get you. That makes sense.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm not listening.
Well, you're not the listener. And I mean, it sucks. Like, so, like Superbald was talking about, like, I've definitely gone through like some mental health struggles. I am in the U.S. where we don't give a shit about that and charge
the
you
world
way
doesn't.
too much.
Here as
And-
well,
world
bro.
doesn't give a shit.
Like,
Yeah, but at least you might get something that
No.
you might not have to pay everything for at some point. Here, like literally nothing is free. Like if you have a job, like cool, you'll get a discount on it. But man, I went to so it's not like emergency, like I didn't check myself into like a place or anything like that, but it was same day service. Because of it was that same day service, I literally had to wait for like 3 hours. Then I talked to someone for like all of like 7 minutes, and it cost me $500 out of pocket. Like I don't know if you guys would have that there. From what I've heard, it's a little bit better. But I mean, it's like if I didn't have like a decent job and didn't like, I was encouraged to get help. And even then, basically what that turned into is a referral to another guy that I then had to pay out of pocket because my insurance didn't cover it. But they gave me that referral. So it's just kind of shitty. So a lot of this would connect with me. I do understand like the whole crisis thing, and that's probably what I needed. But they couldn't have given me the whatever. Now I'm forgetting what they call it. The recommend for the doctor that you need to get it. The referral. Damn it. Yeah. I don't know why that was just gone. So I don't know. And then I used to work customer service, and I worked for this company that decided to be 24 hours a day. I'm not kidding. From like 11 o'clock till 6 in the morning, we were basically a warm helpline. Like I can't tell you how many like drunk people having a crisis or just like people breaking down were calling. And then I became a supervisor at that job. So then I had to take over calls of everyone. And it was basically, I'm not kidding. Like I feel like I have talked to almost everyone on this thing. And we couldn't just be like, well, if there's nothing else, I'm going to hang up on you. Like we couldn't hang up on them. It was our mandate. So I feel like I
used
could
to do tech support for an ISP, and that's pretty much my experience is pretty much what you're describing. The job I referenced earlier was something completely different. It was more dealing with student loans, but yeah, I get where you're coming from with that. This is one of the reasons the movie brought back some not so great memories for me.
Yeah, kind of same, and maybe that's why I'm a little put off by it, but it sucks because like I think all the performances are great. Just I don't know, something about it just didn't stick with me, and I feel like I have everything that I should like in it. Like I love the director, I respect the writer, I know some of his previous work, and I really like that. I think it looks beautiful for being in one location. It does feel like it kind of has its own personality, even though it's quite an amazing apartment. But I don't know. I don't think I'd enjoy watching this again. I don't think I'd recommend it to someone to be like, hey, you should see this. Like, it'll be impactful. Like, I don't really know what the impact is. It's like, yep, that seems like the experience of being on one of those warm lines.
I think Charles had a question previously. Did you?
Well, I bulldozed over it. Sorry about that, Charles.
I was just trying to be a moron. I don't remember what I was saying. When all else fails, moron.
But Multi, you had a completely different experience. Why did you love this film?
I like the testimony of people talking over the phone. Like it feel like real people, and there's a lot of thing to relate to, sad and happy, or like you can understand like where they are coming from. I think, and this is the charm of that movie. People feel like people, and I like that when movie do that. I maybe I misinterpret some stuff, but I feel like early in the movie the lead wanted to step out of the phone call job, so there's in that maybe it's her last night or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, she did say early on, like, actually this is one of my last shifts for a while. So
yeah.
So I'm right.
There is something that's making her step away from this, but even by the end, we don't know what that is.
Yeah, but just that kind of work takes its toll on your mental health. So
yeah, and like the military guy backstory, we mentioned that a lot. That was dark, and I feel like he has a lot of PTSD, the character, and this is what he's been dealing with mostly. And that was interesting. I feel like every call was entertaining. Like I didn't expect to enjoy that much just someone talking over the phone for like an hour and a half. I knew that'd be kind of cool, but not this cool. I really had a very different experiencing you guys.
You didn't have to highlight it. I was just making while I remembered it, I typed it.
Oh, okay, okay. Um, oh my. Um, I think small is harder because there's more visual. Here, it's more like the voice of the people. It's more like their story that could be touching and sad or frustrating, depending on your point of view.
And
So
it
it's all tell.
doesn't necessarily touch on as much trauma. It's the warm line, so it might be pre-crisis line, but it's not like crisis line, or at least most of the calls are not.
Yeah,
So it's tell, not show.
yeah, yeah. Um, the guy victim of loneliness was so endearing. I think at some extent lots of people could relate to the feeling described, not necessarily the action but the thought and feeling behind it.
This is one of two call relate. The one the man will suffer loneliness. I was that guy before in my life. So when he talk and explain the suffer, I feel the emotion with this part. And when the last call with the woman want to suicide, I feel connect with this one because I was displaced before in my life. So it's working for me. These two call.
The same here.
Charles, I got one question. Sorry to cut you off, Multi, but while you're cut off, I'm just going to jump in there and cut you off more. Charles, you mentioned so it's show don't, or so it's tell don't show. So that's kind of the conceit of the movie, but it is showing you her reaction to it, and I guess one of the directions that he was giving her is they can't see your reaction over the phone, but they can hear your voice. So she has to keep her voice kind of calm, but she can kind of react. Would you call that tell don't show? Because you're not showing the event that they're talking about, or you're not seeing the caller, you're only seeing her reaction. Would that still be tell, or would you kind of consider that show?
Well, if you're seeing her reaction and she's the only one you're sticking with, it might be show. It's
Yeah, I wasn't
interesting.
sure. It was
Well, I'm not
I'm
not an authority on it, but
yeah.
I think it was mainly how someone can react to someone else's testimony. Okay, well, thank you a lot, Matt, for joining us today, and I had
As always.
fun. That was fun hearing your thoughts on Damsel. Thank you for sharing, and see you next week if you join us. Take care,
I
man.
will try to be here and happy to be here, guys. It was very funny to talk with you. So again, next time.
Yeah.
Good
It was
night,
awesome
guys.
talking to you. Hey, 1 second. What would you give it out of 10? The listener.
Oh yeah, good question. I think I will give like a 5.9 of 10. Is a okay movie. The concept is interesting, but the structure is is not as great as the concept. And Tessa Thompson is a very good actress, and the role worked for her here. So yeah, 5.9 of 10. So
Oh yeah.
Almost 6.
wait, what would you give Don't Move out of 10?
don't move. Okay. Don't move. I will give I would say maybe 5.5 of 10.
So
maybe
this is better
5.
than I'll move. Okay.
Yeah, but not move. I have many problem with the structure, and the actress is great, but the concept is not like the concept is not good.
Mhm.
I like.
I want to
I
see
will
it even
live.
more now.
I will
I want
live
to
with
see-
that, and don't. You can explain with other people why.
Oh, yeah. Thanks,
see you
man.
see you next week. Ciao.
Take care. Great. Thank you. I almost forgot. So that was an
Sorry, I
amazing.
thought we could get that really quick in there, but I apologize, Multi. I think we've all interrupted your glowing review.
That's fine. That's fine. And again, Dre, you kind of saved the day by asking him is great. This way we got everyone's opinion on it. You're amazing, man. My mind sometimes is weird.
Sometimes.
I will also say that irony of the crazy over the phone was kind of funny. Um, Sadly, I can't. I remember the crazy, but I can't remember why I marked down that. I remember the crazy being like crazy, the crazy over the phone. Do you guys remember the crazy? She was like the really early in the movie, the second or the third call.
The one who was manic, who was like talking real fast. That one.
Um,
The rapper?
no,
Did
that
she
was the
come back and
lady.
rap?
The lady.
Yeah, I think that was.
That was the lady, not the rapper.
But there was also
The lady early. That I think that was like
the homeless woman.
Yeah, the homeless woman, exactly.
Hmm.
I think.
The one who said he was living in a tent with an abusive boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was a crazy. No, there was a crazy lady right after that one.
The only other two that I remember are the girl who was manic and the British lady towards the end there. The last call she took.
Maybe that was a guy. Actually, can't remember.
Well,
know
yeah,
that
there was
wasn't the
there
onus.
was a guy who was a bit off his rocker.
Cuckoo, yeah. There's a glitch in the system right now. Yeah, as the movie progressed, the listener actually started to get more invested and interested to hold the line longer with the client. I feel like early in the movie, she was really trying to get rid of them at some extent. Not really to get rid, but like she wanted to get the business done fast as she could. And later on, like she was asking more question. Maybe I'm crazy. Am I?
I didn't really get that.
I mean, the very last call, because the person's in crisis, she is trying to keep them on the line and trying to connect with them more. But I don't know, man. I didn't get that she was trying to hurry the other ones along. The protocol on those lines is, you can't hang up on them really, unless they're kind of threatening you. Other than that,
Maybe
you
quite
can't
as
call them back.
maybe she wasn't quite as invested into the earlier calls as she was in the last one, but I never got the feeling that she was like trying to rush through it.
But definitely the last one, she was trying to keep them on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And again, the last one was probably the most interesting one because they flip it. Like usually it's about whoever's calling, and now that person wants to know more about them, and they go on a lot of argument about life and philosophy and why should we live because life sucks anyway. That was kind of interesting, I think. Trying to see someone else's perspective. And loneliness affecting most people was a theme that was kind of addressed throughout the movie because most of these people, if they call that, it's because they feel lonely, I think. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
No, I'd say that's probably a factor, one of the factors in their calling.
Yeah, they need somebody to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And morality and suffering discussion was probably the most interesting one. Again, I keep highlighting the last call they had. And it was also interesting how that person on the phone tried to justify self-delete. That was kind of dark. That was dark. And I don't think many movie would risk addressing that kind of matter this way. But yeah, that's why people felt like true people when they were talking over the phone. And that's a movie I would recommend, even if I'm in the minority. Even if I'm probably the only one that really liked it. That was something.
Ask you, like, who would you recommend this to? Like, hey, you look too happy. Watch this.
Yeah, hell yeah, the way to do it. Well, someone that likes drama. People that likes drama, or people that like, I don't know. Like, yeah, you made a valid point. People that are too happy, they should watch that.
There is such a thing as toxic positivity, so maybe this would be a good
Yeah.
a good remedy for people who are of that disposition.
Yeah, you're right. That's the remedy exactly.
So, can I ask you, Multi, how did you even like kind of come across this film? Because I even like looked it up on YouTube, and there's like all of 3 videos even referencing like The Listener, and I guess it's from like 2022 when it started winning a bunch of French film festivals, and then it made it to the Woodstock Film Festival last year. But
and
man, there's been
it's
like no
released.
buzz about this. I've
I-
never
it-
even like heard of it.
It's released this year, I believe. I think it's released like in April or something.
Yeah, I think Netflix ended up buying it, but it does
yes.
not list like what a budget on this was or anything.
So I came across like basically that movie was on my watch list for quite some time. So I think that was like a few months ago. I was like, I want a watch list of 2024 movies. And that
Did you
one
start
is
the list at the beginning of the year?
I think, well, I started parts of it at the beginning, but other parts of it was more like this summer. I was like, I want to build like a list as the year goes on, and I think that one was an addition from this summer. So it's been on my list for like at least 5 or 6 months, and I was like, that concept looks fun. That looks interesting to watch, and I was right. I liked it. I'm sad guys didn't like it as much. That's a bit unfortunate. That's understandable because that's kind of heavy. And I also worked in the call center. It wasn't really the same experience as you guys. Me, it was more
Almost
like
everybody
living
has worked
abroad.
at a call center. It's like it's like back in the 70s. Almost everybody worked in a factory at some point. Nowadays,
Now it's the call centers.
almost everybody's worked in a call center of some kind.
It's a rite of passage. So yeah, and I'm not equating like customer service to being like this. Just we had a 24/7 call center for no reason the first year that it was open, and they figured out that like it was pretty much just drunk people who were like calling to just talk, or it was, you know, kind of people who we had to recommend to like, hey, you should talk to somebody specialized in this, not just customer service. So yeah, I'm only equating those like kind of after 11 p.m. to like 5 a.m. hours, because man, there's a lot of people who just want to talk, and they're looking for anybody who will answer and can't hang up.
Yeah. I found that this summer, and I thought that'd be interesting, so I added this to my watch list, and I was like, oh, you know what? It's female led. Tessa Thompson. Hell yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, so your only criteria is just female led. All right.
And call center, nice idea. I like the idea. I thought that could be fun to watch. Like I didn't see a
I guess I
movie
didn't shit on
like
that technology, but man, that is like first off, that tech does not exist.
Which tech?
Even with this working at home thing, you can have like a Bluetooth earbud thing. It is not going to last for 8 hours, and it's not going to have that range. You cannot walk outside, go down a like flight of stairs. You probably can't be in multiple rooms of the house. Like it just, that tech does not work. We tested out everything to try and get like agents from this call center to work from home, and man, wired is the only way to go. It just, it will not last a full shift like that, and it never shows her charging it. It's just always in her ear so that she can get the next call. But whatever, you know, if that's the most fantastical element of this, whatever, I'm cool with it.
So yeah, I recommend that movie. It's a good movie. We spoiled the entire thing, but it's a good movie. Do you guys want to add anything on that?
Just go ahead, Gray.
I was going to say really good performances, but I don't know if I'd say it equates to a really good movie. That's kind of where I came down with. Now I'm forgetting the name of it. Kevin Costner's big epic that he was supposed to be 3 different movies. Horizon, the saga, chapter 1, or whatever the hell that thing was. Like it's really beautiful, and every performance is really cool, but it's not like an encapsulated story. It's not like a 3-act structure. It's not like a progression in some way that I would say, yes, like this must be seen by people. Like I'd have kind of a hard time recommending that to people who aren't super into Westerns. And I think that's kind of where this one comes to. It's like, yeah, it's a drama. There's some really good acting in it, but I don't know that it equates to a really good movie or a really good story. We were talking about like it could be made into a play. I think it would be more entertaining because you'd see the person kind of walking all around the set that is just the one apartment. And hell, you could even have a dog on stage. That would be kind of cool. But even then, I don't know that it's a compelling like 3-act structure. You're just really relying on these like little vignettes, and that's kind of it. And then it suddenly gets to a more intense one, and that's it. But they're really amazing performances. I don't know. I would recommend this to people who are super into drama or super into kind of different movies, like especially kind of, they call them like bottle episodes in TV where it's all in like one location. It's a really fun gimmick for a movie. I like the idea of it, but I don't know that it's a great movie, man. That's just where I would disagree.
Well, disagreement is part of the thing. I think I would give this movie a solid 10 out of 10. I had no issues. I thought that was flawless. I think now I have seen 63 movies this year. That one lies around 10 to 15. Well, actually 11 to 16, I think.
You have 16 perfect movies from 2024?
I think a bit more. I need to see the exact number. But that one is still very high among the best. So,
Dude, you're generous, man. If I were trick or treating, if I were trick or treating, I'd go to your house because you're the kind of guy who would give me like a
full
box.
size.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
maybe even a king size here.
Yeah,
a 6-pack of king size.
Yeah, well, do keep in mind that multi-scale is a little bit different. He has 7 degrees of bad, but anything that's a 7 or high, well, a 7 is average.
It's 17 place, and I got.
Wow, this is a 10 out of 10,
20,
and it's 17th
I got 20
place.
10s. I got 20 10s, and that one is 17th.
How many do you have below a 5? The score.
20 10s. That's $200.
Below 5. 1 second. I'm looking into it. Below 5. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I got 13 below 5.
Okay, so you've seen 63 movies in 2024. 17 of them are no notes, 10 out of 10.
20 of them are
yeah, it's 17th, but there's
10,
20.
10.
A third.
Yeah, that's 33% are flawless.
Yeah.
God bless.
Most of them are between 5.5 and 9.7-ish.
Well,
there's
if
one.
I make a film, I'll be sure to have you review it.
Hell yeah, the way to do it. What about you, Bald? What would be your grade out of 10?
Before I give my grade, I just want to say I do agree with you that like the characters, or the callers rather, seem like real people. The calls themselves, if you took them as individual set pieces, they're fantastic. It's just all put together, like Gray was saying. It's not quite structured in a way that a movie should. But that being said, I didn't think it was a bad movie. I had conflicted feelings about it just because of the way that it's structured, but also, as I said, because of past experience, personal experience about my own struggles with mental health and some call center experience. I've been in that situation too, like Gray, where the overnight shift, you get all the lonely and drunk people. Yeah, and also I had a job once that had to deal with overdue student loans, and I talked to people who were in mental hospitals and prisons, people who were terminally ill, grieving parents, all that fun stuff. um, I would give this a 6 out of 10.
Very close to Matt.
Yeah, I would. I'm like I said, I don't think it's a bad movie, and I'm certain there's a lot of people who would enjoy. Maybe enjoy is not necessarily the best word because of the subject matter, but there are people who would appreciate this movie in the same way that you did.
Yeah, that's why I think I would recommend this to people that are drama fans and that are not shy about dark stuff.
Is somebody handling a guitar?
Okay, so it's not
no.
just me. I'm hearing that too.
No.
I hear like fingers sliding up
Yeah,
guitar strings.
I've been hearing it too.
Swear I'm not. I thought it was just Multi's water bottle that squeaks. Can you do?
Yeah,
the lid
maybe
on
that's
the
my water
again?
bottle.
Yeah, that's it.
That's my water bottle. Sorry, guys.
That's
You
funny.
can tell it's airtight because of the squeaks.
It sounds like that
Sorry,
thing they
guys.
used to use in movies to sound spooky, that water phone thing. Yeah.
Oh, those are awesome.
Yeah.
Can you play your water bottle in drop D, please?
Huh?
Come on, man. Drop it. It's easier. You can bar it.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Come on, bust out for whom the bell tolls, or
Get some
something
power
like that.
cords on that bottle.
Master of puppets.
Well, I don't think I would be far off from where Matt or Superbald are kind of putting this. I guess it does make me a little bit more generous. So I was looking at the letterbox thing, and I don't think it would be a 3 for me. I think I'd move it to like a 3.5. It's not a perfect film, but it's like all the acting is really good. I like just the voice acting from all the callers. It's like amazing. They really do take on these different characters. I had to kind of look afterwards, like, who is that? Because like you can't tell, where the trend with voice actors now is to kind of be, hey, spot that celebrity. Like it's just that celebrity's voice. So I really like how they actually went for like character here. And then Tessa Thompson is just amazing in this. I like the understatedness, but man, just it's hard for me to connect with the film. So I think I'd give it 3.5 on Letterboxd. So I guess that translates to a 7. That feels a little high for me, but again, it's not bad. Like nothing about it is done incorrectly. It just it's not hooking me in the way that it should. So yeah, I guess I'm at a 7 out of 10, which feels high for some reason.
That's my usual average.
Yeah, but I go off of the traditional scale. What can I say? I don't use your newfangled scale, sir.
Amateur.
That's the best skill. What are you talking about?
He measures in metric, but even though I'm Canadian, I'm old school.
Well, that was something. That was something. I'm glad we had that talk about a great movie and a trash movie. So I guess I'm wondering if there's something you'd like to share with us. Don't move.
You want to talk about Don't Move? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, don't move. What's that?
It's the 2024 female-led Netflix film.
I need to see it now.
That is
Okay.
It's an action suspense thriller.
It is a lazy ripoff of, like, if you went to the dollar store looking for Strange Darling, and like you told someone to pick me up Strange Darling, and they came home with Don't Move, they'd be like, "Well, this is what you described, right?"
A great value version.
Right.
It's got some colorful scenes. They can tick that box.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I need to see it now. I need to see it.
There's
I will look into
a
it.
version of
I don't know that you do need
gender
to.
tropes. Well, from what I've heard from the 2 movies that you guys watched, what's the difference?
It is more entertaining than this. I do know who I would recommend that movie too. But yeah, it's just kind of meh.
Wait,
With
who-
this, I don't know who I would. recommend it to. Is kind of the thing. Or sorry, the listener.
You-
And
oh,
Damsel, I would not recommend to anybody.
all
Don't
right.
Move sounds like a masterpiece.
Well, so there's something that happens in the first 10 minutes, maybe 15. The girl that you're following has something of a personal event that she gets talked out of.
Okay.
It's contradictory to her actions for the remainder of the film, even though they bring it up in the third act. It's not sufficient for me.
Gonna say it eventually gets addressed though, man.
It's not good enough for me.
Fair
Like,
enough.
We have seen
It
Don't
is far
Move
from
as
a
well.
masterpiece. Oh yeah.
So, okay. That will make up for a great discussion. If
It's not a
both
great
of you have
movie.
seen it.
I don't know
No.
that it will.
No, it's really not. Yeah. So
Well,
he talks her out of, well, it's first act. It's 20 minutes, if that. He talks her out of committing suicide and is Mr. Nice Guy. And then she follows him back only for him to want to paralyze her and keep her hostage to ultimately kill her. And she's fighting that.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of explain reasons in the end, but yeah. And he's not spoiling anything. Like the entire premise is like
Oh yeah, it's,
someone gets paralyzed when they're out in the woods, and they have to try and outwit the captor or whatever. So interesting.
I need to see it now. Anyway,
You really don't.
I need to. Thank you for sharing.
I'm dying. If you do watch it, I'm dying to hear what you have to say about
I need to see it.
movement in a car, movement in a boat, because I'd like to tell you how you score based on it. What is that? What happened?
That's
I hear
Should I do
a woman speaking French.
Women. Who's Frenching over
Ah.
there? Oh,
Yeah,
sounds
Multi
like
just started Frenching all of a sudden. But
oui. Yeah, so I'd like to hear Multi's his grading system on things that I felt were asking a lot of the audience. A lot. These
yeah, okay.
situational.
You made us watch Damsel.
I need
Yeah,
to
okay,
see
now
it.
you gotta watch
I
that
might-
movie.
I swear, I'm serious.
You are
I
the
will see
person
it.
who I would think, hey, I should probably recommend this movie to him.
Hell yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I generally will see it.
He likes action. I don't think there's like a hint
I
of
like
comedy
bad
here.
movies as
So
well, and that movie
He's
is
not gonna
so
say
bad,
not funny.
Not
it'll be
funny.
fun. This movie sounds so bad it will be fun to watch.
It may not be bad to you.
Maybe.
it's not great though.
It's like
You
it's like
guys
Strange
still told
Darling
me
for
the movie.
kindergartners.
Well,
If
at least
people
I will
think
have
Strange
seen the
Darling is
better
too
version.
snooty, then I say, well, watch Don't Move then.
Don't Move. The masterpiece nobody talks about.
It's only been out 3 days.
Yeah, I think it
4.
just released on
Yep.
Friday or something.
If you go to your easy for you to say. If you go to your Netflix homepage, it should be right there in your top 10. I think it was the most watched thing. this
And
week.
that's a Netflix movie.
Yep.
Even better. More ammo for my Netflix video.
Gray, could you remember this moment for when we sign off, please?
Sure.
The Netflix highlight. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm counting.
Okay, so I guess now I will ask Superbald, what do you have going on your end of the internet?
No change from previous weeks. Not a whole lot going on. Things have slowed to a crawl on my end. My plans to upgrade my setup and maybe work on other projects have not come to fruition, but hopefully someday. And I've just noticed that I don't really look that much like Bob Ross. I look more like Jack Black playing Bob Ross. Yeah.
No, I think you get a distinct
You got the
Bob
right
Rossness,
shirt.
especially if you've got that easel or the palette right next to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, you just got to eat.
Yeah, the pandemic was not kind to me.
It wasn't kind to
Nor was it to
anybody. I
any of
think.
us.
I discovered my love of baking during the pandemic, so that really didn't help.
Who didn't?
Sourdough, it got us all.
Yeah. I did identify a lot with the first caller in the listener, the guy who just gotten out of prison, and he was like, everybody was freaking out in the beginning of the pandemic, and I identify with this guy because I'm an introvert. I'm like, what? I don't need to go to the office. I can work from home. I don't need to go out in public and deal with people. Especially here in Quebec, we actually, unlike other parts of Canada, we actually had a curfew. We had to be home by 9:00 p.m. and everybody was freaking out, and I was like, fine by me.
I
Yeah,
was an
I definitely
essential
identified with that
worker,
part
so it
too.
didn't affect me.
Yeah,
And when you
could
mentioned
be-
going into the
yeah.
store with the mask as well, it's like I don't know. I remember going into a bank and like thinking I got to take my mask off, and they made me put it back on. It's like, oh, okay. It's just such a weird time.
Yeah. Like I like a bank. One time I went in a bank and they had me take off my toque, or a beanie as you guys call it, and now during the pandemic is like, yeah, he's like, no, please keep your mask on.
So, Gray, what do you have going on your end of the internet?
Yeah. So there's videos that are long overdue, but you know, November's a new month, and I have a goal to have out at least 2 videos a week for November. So even though my channel's dead, it's gonna take a little longer, and then hey, something will actually happen. So yeah, that in the near future, but in the immediate future, for some reason my mouse stopped moving. There we go. The Thinkers on That Darn Kidda's channel. This Thursday, it happens to be a very spooky think. On theme with the holiday. There might be people in costume. Who knows if Charles will show up in a mask? Who knows? But it's actually going to take place on the day. So yeah, it's people from like 3 different continents, maybe more, getting together, disagreeing about everything, except for this Thursday. We're actually going to be talking ghost stories. So yeah, if you want to know all of Charles's ghost stories, or at least his best, come over there. Maybe I got a spooky story to add to it, but should be a good time. YouTube at That Darn Kidda, Thursday morning. I think that's all I got going on. Charles, do you have anything special going on this week? I'm pretty sure nothing. Just dead shit. No. Okay.
No, I'm busy on the 31st, and it is, of course, the Thinkers that day. Nothing big is happening at 4 p.m. on the 31st for me or my channel.
You
Okay.
sure you don't want to advertise it here? The hordes of adoring fans need to know.
I've told the audience. The audience is aware.
So I guess we are out.
Why aren't you plugging your shit?
Because it's the same thing as usual. I'm Superbald gaming, and that's it. Because most of the videos I plan are already out. Already out. So I uploaded. I uploaded.
Already out.
Already out. Yeah, I uploaded.
Who's out?
The Substance review, along with A Different Man and Skincare. These 3 movies are about appearance. Appearance matter in 2024. It's out. People can see it. And actually, I just realized my Venom stream, wow, Saturday got weird numbers. I guess if you want your videos to make views, make it about Venom. People talk about Venom, I guess. So that's pretty much it on my end.
Just any Venom, like I can make it. I can make a video talking about snake venom or something. Just
Venom,
not all toxins, but Venom
hero, the Spider-Man thing, the Spider-Man villain.
Okay, so that Venom. Okay, you can't just use Venom. Period. Okay.
The variant version of the Dodge Challenger.
And we are out.
Nuh-uh.